Greetings guys and gals, this is XIJABERWALKIX bringing you the best in esports. Today we have Starcraft Broodwar, the PDPOP MSL Day 2 round of 16. This is going to be Soulkey versus Zero, and honestly I wouldn't be surprised if Moltrap didn't cast this game just because he loves Zero so much, and he absolutely hates Soulkey apparently. If you guys haven't watched his latest set, I was really impressed by it. Did a very nice job. Not that I can really be any type of judge of who's good at commentating or not, but I was really entertained by it. But he ragged on Soulkey so bad. Anyways, this matchup is going to be on Circuit Breaker at the I have no idea about the colors, unfortunately. Probably should look that up. However, I don't really know if I want to. Yeah, fine. So Soulkey's going to be playing at the bottom left in brown as Zerg player, and at the bottom right is going to be Zero as the yellow Zerg player. Sorry, I really just didn't want to look that up. Me being lazy, I guess, but today it's snowing in Colorado. It's snowing a lot, actually, comparatively to how much it has snowed. But that means that I'm just going to do an absolute marathon of casting, hopefully getting 7 games out, 4 from the KSL finals. I've been meaning to do that for quite some time. The winner actually, well, anyways, yeah, so getting 4 KSL games out, and then hopefully the last of day 2 of the MSL round of 16, which would be awesome if I could get that out. Looks like mere builds from both players opting to go for like a 9 pool, I believe, with gas, which is what it exactly looks like. There's not too much drone, so I don't think it's anything like a 12 pool. And yeah, it's like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, it was 9 pools for both players. Both players are going to opt to go for early pressure, and this is honestly really funny because it's actually just going to kind of reset the whole ZVZ thing. And what this means is, since there is going to be that early pressure, we're probably going to see just one base play, morphing layers in, so they're probably, I mean, you could go for a in-base hatchery. Not going to see an expansion is what I'm assuming. Both players have scouted themselves. This is on Circuit Breaker, which is a 4-player map. But really what this means is we're going to see less Mutalisk, obviously a lot less Scourge. We're just going to pretty much see Zergling play, layers morphing very quickly comparatively, so probably going to see very early Mutalisk, but there's obviously not going to be as many just because there's only 1 hatchery. And it's really going to come down to the smallest micro in these type of battles, just because there's less units, and you need to micro your units better, and drone kills are going to be a lot more effective because there is 1 base, and they're not going to be able to pump drones because all their 3 larvae are going to go towards units. They're going to go towards Zerglings for the time being, and then once that Spire's up, they're going to go pretty much solely to Mutalisk play. Probably going to see a Spire very soon. 4-0, Zero's putting down the Spire, and wow, it looks like the Spire from Soulkey's a little bit later, so as Moltrap would say, just sucking it up. Man, he was just so hard on Soulkey. It was absolutely ridiculous, but these Zerglings for Zero just going to be scouting around. And honestly, I think that Zero's a very good player. You know, he's very good for Woonjin Stars, but I don't really know why Moltrap likes him so much. Moltrap's always liked some weird people. He used to like that one Terran player that we don't like to mention anymore quite a lot, and then he was a fan of some other weird people. I think what it is he doesn't like to really be in favor of the big guys. He really likes to have an underdog, which is nice. You know, it's nice to be kind of in a different spectrum of players. Good little arc there, but actually ruining that arc, pulling out a drone, probably to go for an expansion, and Zero needs to be very careful that he's not going to lose this. There's no expansion going down for Soulkey, so if Soulkey moves in here, he's probably going to be able to take this because he has more Zerglings. Here come the Zerglings for Soulkey, and having to cancel that hatchery trying to get up this ramp, not quite able to. Good arc by Zero. Zero's reinforcing. It looks like no, he's actually going into the base of Soulkey, trying to pick off a drone or two, but I think that Soulkey's actually going to come out ahead in terms of Zerglings. He comes out way ahead in terms of Zerglings. Here comes some Zerglings for Zero, able to pick off one of the drones. No drones mining gas, and oh my gosh, there's just so many Zerglings in the base for Soulkey. He's doing a ton of damage, and man, oh man, I hope that Moltrap sees this, because he's going to be absolutely pissed that he made fun of Soulkey so much, and Soulkey's getting his revenge on Zero. Zero actually able to deal with that fairly well. There's about 5 drones mining on minerals. He has full saturation on his gas. I haven't seen how much damage they actually did, those Zerglings, and wow, it's actually comparatively even. I think that even Zero might be ahead in drones, actually. He's at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So pretty much even, going back to even with both drone counts. I think that 3, 6, so he's at 6 mining minerals, and I believe that Soulkey's also at 6, so pretty even. Surprisingly, he didn't do that much damage with those Zerglings. Failure again, so maybe Moltrap is right, and you know, Soulkey's just very bad. Oh, he's oversaturating his geyser there. He's got one extra drone actually, so that's kind of peculiar. I don't know why he's doing that. Don't know if that actually, I don't even think that gets you extra gas, but it might, just because it looks like that extra drone isn't waiting too long. Here comes Soulkey trying to pick off that Overlord, and more Mutalisks. Like I said, they're just all committing all of their larvae to Mutalisks. Zero trying to get that base up, was unable to do so, so we are at 1 base play still. 2 Scourge in the mix, and these Scourge are going to come into huge play. It's going to be absolute blunder if Soulkey's not able to land. He's not able to land either of the Scourge, unfortunately, and so he's going to be a Mutalisk behind, and going to have to retreat out of Zero's base. Soulkey, meanwhile, man, picking up that hatch, I think that's a bad decision, to be honest. I don't know if he's going to be able to keep producing Mutalisks with just those 4 or 5 drones mining on minerals, because he has used 1 to build that hatchery. Meanwhile, Zero has all of his mining on minerals, so he's going to obviously be able to just pump out Mutalisks. Unfortunately, it looks like he's unable to. Larva, see that larva is not being used to produce a Mutalisk, and Zero is going to be moving in here. This is looking not too good. I mean, if he can hold it off, he's going to be able to do enough damage. He's going to be able to get a lot of stuff out, but at the same time, he's going to need to build a few more drones. He's not going to be able to make Mutalisks purely off of those drones that are mining, so he's going to have to drone up a little bit at least. And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to get more Scourge out. So is Zero, though. Zero's getting Scourge out. He's also picked up the base at his natural, and so we might see this go into a little bit of later game, but honestly, I think that if Zero just moved in, here comes Scourge, not really cloning. Oh, and Zero getting a few hits with his Scourge. Here comes more Scourge for Zero. Zero is obviously in the lead here. All the Scourge getting picked off, but no, there's wounded Mutalisks for Soulkey, and Zero is just reluctant to move in. I really think he should, because you can see that Soulkey is unable to use those larvae from that extra hatch. Really, it's not that great that he built. Finally now using it, but he's not using it to the greatest extent, and you know, it's just really not looking too good for him. That base for Zero is almost up, and once it's up, we're probably going to see a few more drones, I'm assuming. Wow, Soulkey actually making some Zerglings. He's probably going to try to get that second geyser, just because when you're on 2 bases, you kind of need that second geyser in terms of Mutalisk play. Here comes more Mutalisk and Scourge for Soulkey, just bypassing the whole entire army. Might be going for a base trade here. This main for Soulkey is left completely unattended, but at the same time, it's left unattended for Zero. And where are Soulkey's Mutalisks? Soulkey's Mutalisks are chasing Zero's Mutalisks. He has the Scourge. If he's able to clone the Scourge, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage, but unable to do so. It looks like all the Scourge have been picked off. Soulkey's back, moving back, or Zero's moving back rather, and almost able to hit, able to clone It's 2 Scourge on, and man, why isn't he not going in? I think that he's ahead in terms of Mutalisks, but I could be wrong. But honestly, I think that if he would move in, he would just be able to just overtake Soulkey. And playing very, very tentatively, I think there's only about 3 or 4 that Extractor doing absolutely nothing. I think there's only 3 or 4 Mutalisks out for Soulkey at the moment, and we have like 5 or 6 Mutalisks out for Zero. Zero is very far ahead in Mutalisks. He's going to be able to pick off this Overlord, which is a little bit unfortunate. Here comes 2 Zerglings in the base for Zero. Going to be able to pick off some drones, I believe. Running his drones. He needs to be very, very careful. Stopping the mining. He's going to be able to clean this up, but stopping the mining for just a little bit, and really that's all you need with that Zergling. Only able to pick off one. Might be able to pick off this one on gas, but no, it doesn't look like he's going to go in for that. Now Zero, I don't know why I keep thinking the yellow player is Soulkey, but now Zero is building more Mutalisks, not quite using his larva to the fullest extent, but doing a fairly nice job. Soulkey's going in for an attack. He knows that he's behind. He knows that he's going to have to kill off some drones or do something. Might be able to kill off that drone there. Almost went for the Extractor. Not quite though. And both players pretty close in terms of Mutalisks, but just the economy for Zero I think is a little bit better because he has had a lot more drones on minerals comparatively. The Zergling being very annoying, making those drones run up and down, and just absolutely being so annoying. There's only 5 drones on minerals total for Soulkey, unfortunately. And now here comes 2 more Zerglings. Might be able to pick off. Are they going to be able to pick off the drone? Very nice snipe by Zero. That just shows how much better multitasking he has. And I never argue that Zero is a better player than Soulkey. Like, that's kind of obvious, but honestly, I don't think that Soulkey is nearly. I mean, he's not the greatest by any means, but just Moltrap, man, it's just so hard on him. Here he comes with a counterattack. He has a few Scourge in the area, but there's a lot of Scourge, actually. Whoa, a lot of Scourge for Soulkey, rather. Just way more Scourge, but it seems like there's a lot of Scourge. It might be just grouped up. Here it comes, and they're going to see if he's able to get off some hits. It really just depends on how they're able to clone those Scourge. And, picking off. Oh, man, getting surrounded. Zero's Mutalisks getting surrounded, but now Soulkey has no Scourge. The Scourge getting absolutely cloned. Not doing good micro at all is Soulkey, and Soulkey's going to have to back up. He has way less Mutalisks, and it looks like these Zerglings might be able to pick off the Extractor, but no, they're just going to be a little bit annoying. Go from turn to turn. Probably should have turned around and tried to kill off those drones, though. I don't know why they didn't do that. Just trying to get a scout, and I think Soulkey does have a sunken in the main, which, is a good move, but at the same time, he's just so low on minerals comparatively to Zero. Zero's got like 2 more drones, which is huge, and so making that sunken colony really kind of hurt him in terms of minerals. Here comes Zero for the kill, just chasing Soulkey with his Mutalisks. Has quite a few more Mutalisks, I believe, like 2 or 3 more Mutalisks, and Zergling's actually getting picked off, so Soulkey's going to be able to run in here, might be able to pick off some drones and even things up a little bit. Zero needs to be very, very careful, but Soulkey's just moving in here right in, going to be able to kill off pretty much all of the drones for Soulkey, and so the players are just going to have to deal with the Mutalisks they have, and I think that Zero is ahead in terms of Mutalisks, also has some Scourge along with him, and so this is just going to be very, very bad. Soulkey just running his drones, but unfortunately he doesn't have the Mutalisk force that he needs. But here comes, he might be able to pick off the Spire. If he's able to pick off the Spire, not going to really matter too much, but he's not going to be able to build it anymore for sure. Soulkey only has about 3 drones though at the same time, so it's not going to really matter too much that he picked off that Spire. Both players pretty much have to work on what they have, but these drones now mining minerals, so he's going to probably be able to reinforce his army a little bit better. Don't think he's going to be able to build up that Spire anytime soon. He's just going to try to have to go for an elimination is what I think, or at least kill off these forces. Ooh, nice snipe. Those Scourge almost landing, but not quite able to snipe those Scourge, doing a very nice job. 2 more eggs for Soulkey, and this could be all the difference. Honestly, I think that Zero should move in now. He does have 4 drones, actually, 6 drones on minerals, probably building some Zergling. Well, I mean, obviously building some either Zerglings or drones. It really can't be anything else. but I think that Zero should move in here because he does have the advantage for the time being. Probably just waiting for those Zerglings, but here comes the engagement. Skurs just everywhere, and some Skurs landing for Soulkey. Actually, 2 more Skurs in the area. He needs to pick off these Skurs, make sure they don't land. One of the Skurs lands, and now only 3 Mutalisks out for Soulkey. Unfortunately, Zero is able to pick off all of them, and Soulkey GG's. Zero just showing his superiority, so wins the first set. Very nice job by him. Very exciting match, actually. A little bit back and forth, but honestly, I think that Zero was pretty much ahead the whole time. Just back and forth in terms of engagements and stuff. In terms of economy, Zero was up the entire time. Just had more drones mining on those minerals, doing a very nice job. And so I'm going to go on to the next MSL game. Remember, if you like what you see, subscribe, comment below if you have anything to say, and also give me a like. That would be really appreciated. That's pretty much it for me. Lates.